Soran zamkuj soran, pişki ayın uçiraya, zamkuj soran maştalika, odruvarosh halkiraya.
Hello, I am Professor Dermot Cahill. I'm the former director of the Institute for Competition and Procurement Studies at Bangor University, as well as the former head of the law school there. I'm now a consultant full-time with international consultancy HelpUs Trade, and we work with governments around the world to help them with institution strengthening, governance, and improving their capacity and also their efforts to fight corruption in areas such as government contracting and antitrust. At today's conference here at Soran University, it's a conference on international emerging legal issues. I've been delighted to be invited to discuss trends in international antitrust regulation, or what we call in Europe competition law. That is to discuss the efforts by major regulators in both the United States, the European Union, and in China, and in order to assess how well are they doing in regulating anti-competitive activities that are engaged in by large online platforms such as Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, now known as Meta, etc., and also large Chinese online platforms such as Meituan, Alibaba, Tencent, etc. And one of the things that we've discovered in our research, which I've done with Dr. Jing Wong of the University of Strathclyde, is we've discovered that despite the fact that we're entering, I suppose, a period of a multipolar world where globalization seems to be slowing down at governmental level, where governments previously liberalized in open markets, now we see that in the field of international antitrust, regulators in both the East and the West seem to be going in the same direction. In other words, they can see that there's a huge threat to consumer welfare and also to economic development for smaller businesses posed by the dominance of the large online platforms, who often are imposing anti-competitive trading conditions on the companies and businesses who try to sell their, or who wish to sell their services and goods through the online platforms. And so what we've seen recently is action by the European Commission in Brussels, action by SAMR, which is the Chinese antitrust regulator in Beijing, and also parallel action in the United States, often led by the individual attorneys general of individual states grouping together in class actions or group actions against the online platforms, or indeed the Federal Trade Commission. And they all seem to be heading actually in a parallel direction, which is they're somewhat late to the party, but nevertheless they're now taking strong enforcement action against these online behemoths. It will be a few years before we know whether their action is successful, but one thing they all share in common now is that they're aware of the grave threat to competition that comes from the online platforms if they are dominant. And at the end of the day, it's us global consumers who actually will pay the price for that. So I'm delighted to be here at Soran University in Kurdistan today to discuss this topic.